Journey has been dissected so many times that I can't help but think that I can't bring anything new to the table. At the same time though, and in all honesty, I don't really care. Because my time with Journey was as unique as it was wondrous, and I couldn't let the opportunity to write how I feel about this game just pass me by. The game is made by a game company called That Game Company, and they are known for, I'd like to say, esoteric experiences like Flow from 2006 and Flower from 2009. Oh, and besides this one obviously, Sky that made its way onto mobile devices as well. I haven't played Sky, but I did however play their other two excellent experiences. And I call them experiences because I don't see the gameplay element as being intrinsic to these games. The whole purpose behind them is to make you feel a certain way, and to what concerns me, they excel at doing that. And among the three I've played, Journey made the most powerful impression on me. If you haven't played it, it's one of those games that would be in the top 100 games to play before you die kind of ranking. And that's for a good damn reason. If I were to summarize my experience with Journey, I'd call it nothing short of cathartic. It's the lack of a written or spoken language through which the story is relayed to you as a player, and the absence of an obvious plot that makes this game so special. Journey isn't made to be explained directly to you, it is meant to be felt as an interactive work of art. What I love most about the beginning of the adventure is the actual intro that foreshadows everything you will discover during the very last seconds of the game. And at the time, as I was going through that moment of realization I'm referring to, it struck me like a sledgehammer. The epiphany was so bittersweet, I knew from that point on that the experience of Journey will be everlasting. You start off simple enough by playing as a silhouette-like being with no apparent gender or race, and so you begin exploring the desert. At first, everything you see is full of wonder and full of joy, much like looking through the lens of a child experiencing the world for the very first time. And the amazing soundtrack makes sure the beauty of discovery and amazement isn't lost on you. Everything is new and exciting, you even find companions along the way. When I found out for the first time that there were actual players, I was astonished because it totally surprised me. And playing alongside my newly discovered friend made me remember what it was like to meet someone else for the first time when I was a child. There was no ill will purpose involved, no social etiquette, nothing but happiness. And somehow, the incredible writers from That Game Company managed to convey that exact feeling perfectly. However, as it is in life, it all must come to an abrupt and unfair end. The developers made what I like to call the farewell to childhood scene so beautiful, it actually saddened me immediately. Let's pause this for a spell. In this shot, we see three main things. Us as the main character, the harmless flying creatures that I would attribute to being the very playful essence of childhood, and the destination the game wants us to reach. What's happening is that we see the benevolent creatures go into the opposite direction we are heading towards, sort of like a life goes on kind of moment. We are leaving behind childish things and we're plummeting into uncertainty, ultimately into darkness. It's much like the moment we head into life on our own for the very first time and we feel nothing but vulnerable and exposed. The wondrous things that once amazed us as children are no longer present. To further emphasize this cruel transition, the warm sun-like color tone from before shifts to a cold blue and a bit later to a cold green. Soon after the irrevocable transition, another element is introduced to us, the notion of fear and insecurity. These emotions are portrayed by the imposing predator-like creature that is always on the lookout for prey. From my point of view, that flying serpent is an allegory for life when you meet it head-on for the first time and start realizing that you have to look out for yourself and keep the mistakes to a bare minimum. Because when life catches you off guard, it doesn't care, it doesn't discriminate, you will get hit hard and uncaringly. Sort of like a great philosopher once said in a movie.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
I very much like the fact that this is well represented when the creature hits you and you lose from the length of your scarf. As we all know up until this point in time, the scarf represents your hard work or progress within the game. In other words, it sets you back and it doesn't care. After this initial shock though, you find your way and ascend filled with hope to a place that is seemingly better than the previous area or era. This can be interpreted as the next stage of our lives, if you will, when we are wiser and have a firmer grasp on things. Then come the final stages of the game, which clearly mirror life near its end. The atmosphere here is daunting, everything is bleak, and on top of that, you find out that you never truly escaped the danger that was lurking before. It's only that this time, it comes for you even harder. On top of that, you are also facing the elements of nature that slow you down drastically, making you even more vulnerable. Of course, by that point, we have reached old age. Furthermore, that which once had life and flourished now is frozen solid. To me, this serves as a sad reminder of the cruelty and uncaringness of the passage of time. From then on, things only get harder and harder until the point that you can't go on anymore. You hear nothing else but the sound of your footsteps until silence envelops everything, and all you hear is... This moment was a crushing one for me because I was so immersed in the game, I actually felt heartbreak when my character fell to the ground, defeated by the ascent. Luckily, the next area that could be interpreted as one's final stand against the odds took me in the opposite direction and filled my heart with bliss for one last time. A proper send-off to a brilliant adventure, or journey, if I may. Journey is a game about life, about hope, companionship, about arduousness, acceptance. It's a game about death. It's about the wonders of being a child, the fears of becoming an adult, and about embracing the inevitable. Journey is a tale about us, about each and every one of us, and I have rarely encountered such a sad and beautiful story as this one, conveyed through the medium of video games. The most impressive part of the entire experience is that the creators managed to convey all of this happiness and sorrow without uttering one single word.